This is episode 750.
You're listening to Flip Empire, the show committed to helping real estate entrepreneurs who want to build their empire without sacrificing their life. Your success and freedom starts now with your host, Alex Pardo.
Welcome, my friends. Alex Pardo. I'm coming at you with a lot of joy and excitement, and I want to celebrate with you episode 750 on the Flip Empire show. You know, just about a week and a half ago, we celebrated the 8-year anniversary of this podcast, and it's so interesting how it almost lined up timing-wise to coincide with episode 750. So before we launch into the show, thank you so much for anybody who has ever supported the show, whether you've listened to one episode or you're a crazy nut that has listened to 750 episode. I'm so appreciative for you. Thank you. Hopefully I can continue to host this podcast and just pour into you. So really, thank you. Whether you've left a rating and review, you're plugging in. I want to aim and strive to just continue to deliver as much value as possible to help you on your journey. And this platform has been a blessing for me in so many ways. So thank you for the support. Before we get going, guys, I want to give a shout out to all the dads, all the fathers out there. You guys are so important. You guys are changing the world. We just celebrated Father's Day, and I had the opportunity to spend it with my incredible family, and I got loved on, and I'm just exuding gratitude and appreciation. So thank you to all the dads out there. I know obviously there's a lot of men that listen to the show, many fathers, and your work is so important. Make sure you're setting the example with your work ethic, but also make sure that you're spending quality time with your children, because that's what they need, right? Like, money is important. Money is a tool. Our businesses are meant to be profitable and provide for obviously our lifestyle and hopefully impact others around us. But your children probably don't need more money. They probably need more of you. So just shout out, a salute to all the dads out there. If I can help you in any way with this show or otherwise, like, please reach out, let me know. So guys, with that being said, I've been thinking long and hard about what I want to talk about on episode 750. And there's two words that come to mind. Before I get into those two words and into really the heart of the show, I want to give you guys some updates, because to me, there is no better feeling than progress, right? Like, progress equals happiness. And I recorded a podcast with Phil Duke Jr. And you guys are going to be hearing it coming up here pretty soon. And we talked about the definition of success. And I shared with him that my definition of success has evolved throughout the years. You know, many years ago, when I was in my teens and early 20s, I would have defined success as around money, right? Like being a millionaire, like that was successful to me. And now I know, right? Having years and experience, that's just one aspect of it. And you get to define what success is, right? So one of my coaches says that success is the internal comparison to your ideal. The internal comparison to your ideal. And I think that's profound in many ways. So you get to define what success is. But, at one point, my definition of success was like, hey, I just want to be happy. Right. But what I've realized is that being happy. Happiness is momentary. It's a moment in time. It can be fleeting. You could be happy one day and not happy the next. That's not sustainable, right? Like joy, genuine joy, that's much more sustainable to me. But, progress does equal happiness. I know when I'm on my way to hit a goal, when I'm on a certain journey and I feel like I'm making progress, that gives me a good feeling, and that gives me energy, and that fuels my confidence. And when I'm confident, I can achieve more things and I can take more action, because I'm acting in my strength. I'm stepping into my greatness. And I share that with you because, Dan Sullivan from Strategic Coach talks about, like, the number one job of any entrepreneur is to protect his or her confidence. And progress will give you confidence. It doesn't just equal happiness, but it will fuel confidence. So why do I say all this? Well, as I reflect, we're almost at the halfway point of the year. In fact, we're pretty much at the halfway point. Let's be honest. We're at the halfway point of the year. Now's a good opportunity to look back and say, hey, let's dust off those goals that you set in November, December, maybe January. Where are you at? Are you on track? Are you on pace? And when I look at what's been accomplished, at least in my world over the course of the last 6 months, there's a lot of progress, right? I ended up shutting down one business and launching another one, our Storage Wins coaching community, which just continues to grow with the right people. And I get so much fulfillment from pouring into people, teaching them an asset class that I know can change their life. So as a shameless plug, as an aside, if you're interested in having a conversation about that, www.storagewins.com. The singular focus of that program is to help you get your first cash flowing storage facility within 6 to 12 months. So storagewins.com. But, aside from that, my wife and I, we sold our last two rentals. We started building a rental portfolio in Cleveland, Ohio back in 2018. We just sold the last two of those. And one of the things that is so important, if you have a portfolio, if you have assets, look at your ROE, look at your return on equity, right? So what is the net cash flow that you generate? And then divide that by the equity in the property. And oftentimes when I take coaching clients through this, they're very surprised that their ROE is 3, 4, 5, 6%. And the question is that an asset you want to hold long-term, or does that capital, can you redeploy it into a different asset, into a different cash flowing, generating asset that is more aligned with what you're looking for, that is going to give you the returns you want, right? So take a look at your portfolio, like cut out the fat. What are the headache properties? What are the problem properties? Those are some of the things that you need to be asking yourself. So we just sold our last two single family rentals. And then we're under contract to sell our Mississippi portfolio. I own one of them by myself, and then I have a partner on the other one. And so if everything works out within the next 30 to 45 days, we're selling about 80,000 net rentable square feet of storage in Mississippi, and going to take that capital and redeploy it into the same asset class, but just a different market. So storage, the storage business is going well. And then also, one mistake that I've made in my career, and I want to share this with you because I think you need to hear it, is I've always been I've always been quick to hire and slow to fire. Quick to hire and slow to fire. And I remember years ago, a coach of mine told me, you got to reverse that equation. You got to be, well, he didn't say slow to hire, but you got to make sure you hire the right person. But when you know it's not going to work, you got to be quick to let it go, because not only are you doing yourself and your business a favor by knowing that person's not in the right seat, but you're doing them a favor because they can thrive and shine somewhere else. Well, I had a team member that I recently let go of, and great person. There's a lot that I learned from a leadership perspective that I could have done better to set her up for success. But I just, when you know in your heart of hearts that it's just not the best fit, and it was a difficult conversation, but instead of dragging it out, instead of giving them an opportunity and going months down the road when I knew in my gut it wasn't going to work out, I've learned from past mistakes, and I had a difficult conversation. As leaders, as business owners, we have to make difficult decisions. And so I had a conversation, ended up letting her go. But what that did was that opened up the door and the opportunity for the right person to step in, and just ecstatic with a new team member, executive assistant that I brought on board about a month or so ago. And just, it's crazy how in sync we are. And one of the things you'll likely hear me reference in upcoming episodes is a book by Dan Martell called Buy Back Your Time. I cannot recommend and stress that every single person listening to my voice right now, go get that book, Buy Back Your Time. There's so many practical steps, frameworks, and things that you can implement in your life and business to buy back your time. And having an executive assistant is key to that entire process. And so just really getting things dialed in, creating playbooks, which are basically standard operating procedures, right? SOPs, and looking at old SOPs and tweaking them, and having somebody manage your calendar and your inbox. Like, these are all the things that are going to strip the non-revenue generating activities that drain you from energy and allow you to step into the revenue generating activities that feed you and give you energy. So I want to kind of transition now, and I want to talk about, use this particular podcast as an example, but I want you to relate this to something going on in your life or business. Think back to a time when you have experienced a level of joy, happiness, success, fulfillment. I can almost guarantee you. In fact, I'd step out on a limb and say, I will guarantee you that that didn't happen without some level of commitment and consistency. Hey there, stop. I promised to get you back to the show, but let me ask you a couple of questions. Are you happy with the money that you're making in your real estate business? Are you generating any cash flow? Are you building wealth? Do you feel like you're making progress, or are you just constantly chasing deals and going after the next transaction and the next transaction? Well, I can tell you from personal experience that there's an easier way, and it's not with single family homes. I believe that self-storage is the best asset class in real estate, hands down, because we're not dealing with tenants, toilets, there's automation, it's a recession-resistant asset class, and it's a business that has the benefits of real estate. If what you're ultimately after is cash flow, building wealth, and time freedom, I want to invite you to just take a few minutes to apply. Go to www.storagewins.com, where you can learn more about our Storage Wins coaching program. And I can help you generate cash flow from your first storage facility within the next 6 to 12 months without needing to use your money or even needing any experience. So head over to www.storagewins.com. And if we like what you have to say, we'll schedule a call. And I look forward to connecting with you. Now back to the show. So those are the two words that I really want to frame this conversation around, because the only reason I was able to get to 8 years of hosting a podcast where every single week for 8 years a show was released was, number one, it was in part because of my commitment and consistency, but it was because I had the support system around me. I have a team that handles the post-production and the editing and the show notes and the publishing, things that to this day I still don't know how to do. And that's okay, because I knew what I was super crystal clear that all I wanted to do was share valuable content. I wanted to hit record. I wanted to upload that to Dropbox and have everything else automatically done. And so the team around me, the support system, I want to give them a shout out. The podcast team, Grow Your Show, the people I've worked with throughout the years and work with now that give me the space and time and energy, my wife, my family, that they know every single week I'm going to be recording podcasts, and I get that uninterrupted time to just think and share and speak from the heart. So you have to first start. It starts with a decision on your end, no matter what you're after. If you're looking to grow and scale your real estate business, you're looking to launch a new business, you're looking to get fit, whatever it is, it first starts with a decision, right? And then that leads to a commitment. What's your non-negotiable, right? One of the things I have on my whiteboard here are my daily non-negotiables. Connect with God, quality time with family, daily sweat, which is i.e. working out, daily sweat, and then reading 10 pages. Like, there is not going to be a day that goes by where those 4 things don't happen. What are your non-negotiables? What are you committing to that is aligned with your long-term goals, the things that you want to accomplish, the things that you want to achieve? So commitment is the first one. It starts with the decision, and then there's the follow through. There's the commitment. It's the non-negotiable. The second thing is consistency, right? I was just interviewed on a podcast yesterday, and we were talking about marketing channels. And really, what was underneath the question is like, hey, what's working for you now, right? Like, that's a question that's commonly asked. And the truth of the matter is that consistency works. Right? It's not what marketing channel works and doesn't work, because they pretty much all work, but it boils down to consistency. Are you going to be consistent with whatever channel you're focused on? So at the end of the day, when you all strip it down and you boil it down to like the root of it, it's a mindset, right? It's a mindset that when you commit to something, you're going to do it. I remember, to use the Flip Empire show as an example, I had read or heard a statistic, and this was back in the beginning of 2016, that most podcasts don't go beyond the 6th episode. A lot of podcasts start and die before they get to episode 6 or 7. And I don't know if that stat still holds true today or not. But I remember challenging myself and saying, hey, if I'm going to do this, I'm really going to do it. I'm going to commit. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that I had committed to doing this for 8 years, because that'd be a lie. I didn't. In fact, it still blows my mind that I'm still hosting this show 8 years and 750 episodes in. That blows my mind. But I know that I had committed to at least 1 year. And at that time, remember, for the first 5 to 6 years of the Flip Empire show, I was recording and publishing 2 episodes every single week. So for between 5 and 6 years, 2 shows a week. And then a year and a half or so ago, whenever I scaled down to one, it had become a lot. And so I wanted to gain back more energy. And it's important that as entrepreneurs, we do energy audits and we ask ourselves, hey, what's feeding us? What's lighting us up? And you need to step into more of those things, ideally the ones that are producing revenue, uh, and strip away the other stuff. And that's where a book like Buy Back Your Time and having an executive assistant can really help. So it's a mindset, it's a work ethic, it's a commitment to being consistent day in, day out, week in, week out, and just stack those wins. One of the reasons that I call our storage coaching community storage wins is because it's built on small wins every single week, that if you stack them, you're putting yourself in a position to find the right deal, to find the right opportunity. We set the goal. We understand where the flag is at the end, but it's the commitment to the journey and the process, right? And making sure that those things that you do day in, day out, week in, week out, are going to put you in a place to accomplish whatever goal you're after, whether it's storage or otherwise. So we talked about mindset. We talked about work ethic, the support system. Don't be wishy-washy. Don't be one of those people that start something and then like a month later they're on to something else. Like I won't mention his name, but I know somebody who's coming to mind right now that like this person is notorious for jumping from opportunity to opportunity, from thing to thing. And while I admire their ambition, I don't admire the fact that there's no commitment. They're everything is opportunity driven. Nothing is vision driven. And when you don't have a vision, everything looks like an opportunity, right? So I had a conversation yesterday with a childhood friend of mine who's looking to get involved in storage, and I shared that very piece of advice with him. I said, dude, what do you want? Like, what is it you're after? Oh, I'm after XYZ. Okay, but what's behind that? And you drill and you drill and you drill. You peel back the layers. That's where a good coach comes in that can ask you questions, that can understand what it is that you truly, truly want. Is it based on what you want, or is it based on what you think you want because of what you've seen on the external? And once you commit, guys, here's the other thing that's super powerful that I have found is when you commit, speak and communicate with confidence. Publish that commitment with others, people that you know are going to hold you accountable. I think I read somewhere that the people that post a picture of themselves without a shirt or basically exposing their body, their stomach, their arms, their legs, etc., the people that post that on social media are much more likely to accomplish whatever goal they're after, losing X amount of weight, losing X amount of body fat, whatever it is. And that's because there's public accountability, right? If nobody knows what you're after, then sometimes it's too easy if you don't have a certain level of, if your commitment isn't strong, then sometimes it's easy to just let things go by the wayside. There's a quote that I'm looking at here by Arsene Wenger. And she said, when you look at people who are successful, you'll find that they aren't the people who are motivated, but have consistency in their motivation. Right? Let me repeat that because I think it's worth repeating. But when you look at people who are successful, you will find that they aren't the people who are motivated, but have consistency in their motivation. So again, there's that word consistency, commitment, consistency. Do a thought audit. What's important to you? And ask yourself, have you committed to that? And is there consistency? Are you doing what you said you would do? Do you have non-negotiables? The things that non-negotiable, you don't negotiate with yourself about them. It's going to get done. It's going to happen. I have a buddy of mine who's super, super fit. And one of his daily non-negotiables is like, I don't care. He doesn't care if he's traveling, what he's doing, he's getting to the gym. It's a non-negotiable. The decision's already been made. So the decision's already been made. It's going to happen. It's going to get done. I'm kind of like that with my calendar. When something hits my calendar, like my assistant knows, I'll do it. It's going to get done. If it doesn't hit my calendar, who knows? So the last thing I'll mention, guys, is audit your calendar, audit your bank account. Why? Because that tells you where you're placing your priorities. right? Your time, where time is spent, where money is spent, is largely a pretty good indicator of what you're prioritizing. And if that's not aligned with what you ultimately want, you need to revisit your level of commitment and your consistency, because a lot of people talk about it, but there's a fewer amount of people that are actually about it. All right. So, guys, with that, I want to go ahead and wrap up episode 750. I'm really excited for some of the content that's coming up, some of the guests that I'm going to be interviewing. Again, if you're somebody who you're tired of chasing deals, you feel like you're in a hamster wheel, your margins are shrinking, your overhead is growing, you're facing market uncertainty, you're not generating as many leads or converting as many deals, or maybe you just question, hey, like, do I still want to be building and working and going after single family homes? Either way, whether you're going to keep your single family business or not, so many of the skills that you and I have acquired in the single family business, I can tell you with 100% certainty, translate over to storage. Pretty much all the skills translate to storage. A few tweaks and nuances, different asset class. But guys, if you have any interest in going after and getting your first cash flowing storage facility within the next 6 to 12 months, head over to www.storagewins.com. Take a few minutes to apply. If I like what you have to say, we'll reach out and schedule a call. So with that being said, guys, have an incredible day. Again, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the love. If you wouldn't mind, leave the show in Apple Podcasts or Spotify a rating and review. Tag me on social media. Share this with a friend. That is one of the greatest gifts you can give a content creator, podcast host, an author. Just share their materials if you're getting value from it. Let us hear from you, because I know there's a lot of people that listen and plug in that I might not never meet or hear from. And when I see that I'm tagged, or when you post something, you leave a rating and review, like, I read every single one of those words, and it genuinely means a lot. So have an awesome day, guys, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next one. Take care.
Hope you enjoyed that episode. But before you go, I've had a lot of people recently reach out to me wanting to learn more about Ascend, wanting to understand how the mastermind component works, how the coaching relationship works. And so right now we're actually on a waiting list. But what I would encourage you to do is, if you think you're the right fit and you think you could benefit from being a part of our community, head over to ascendyoursuccess.com, watch the short video, and then just click the apply to join button below. And then we'll be in contact with you if and when a spot opens up. So really appreciate you listening to Flip Empire here, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next show. Take care.